No, I've decided to tap out from Naked and Afraid. I've never been on the show, but I've been applying since 2014 when I nearly got on the show. I was strongly considered. And 7 years later, it's not going to happen. I've tried, I've done my best. And so, yeah, therefore I'm tapping out. I'm not going to apply for the show anymore. I'm fucking done with it at this point. So what can I say? Since 2014, I've really wanted to test my skills out there to see how well I could do. Now I've talked to Greg Feltus. I still have his personal number. Times he'll contact me with a text or he'll talk back with me on the phone, but hasn't happened in a while. In fact, the last time he was actually kind of rude. So chupa una verga grande and come mi caca pendejo. Esta para ti también. If you want to know what the translation is of that insult, I suggest you learn Spanish. I put a lot of this on you because, like I said, I've reached out to you many times and you haven't done anything. Completely threw me under the bus, under the water, whatever. I remember after my first consideration, you actually had a contest called Show Us What You Got, hashtag Show Us What You Got. It was a 10-day contest to see who you want to put out there for 14 days. This is the first time you were doing it. And for the first 7 fucking days, I was the only applicant on there. The rest showed up within the last few days, but of course I didn't hear a thing. Kind of scratched my head and thought that was kind of unusual. But, when it's all said and done, I think you're really kind of missing out because I had a lot of support of a lot of people. I've met a lot of former cast members. Even they went through the next challenge on a 40-day challenge, but apparently they're not hearing anything back either. So I don't know what the hell the deal is. I guess at this point it doesn't really matter to me anymore because I'm pretty much fucking done with it. So I spent a lot of time with cast members. They're awesome people. I'll support anyone who does the show. Anyone. I mean, it takes a lot of guts, a lot of courage, just to strip away everything and try to survive out there. And that's what I really wanted to do. I wanted to test myself. Yes, I had the skills. I'm a strong brute from age. I'm in my 50s now. I mean, I don't have any health issues. Just think how interesting it would be if you had a person like me on there, a herdsman from Pennsylvania who has a mild case of Tourette's, who can keep it under control unless I'm under a lot of stress or unless I'm by myself. It slips out a little bit. So just imagine me having that microphone. It'd be very entertaining for many of you if you were to see this or to witness this. I don't give a shit because I really don't care what people think. I never really did. But I'm sure you all would have been entertained by my presence on there. Well, like I said, going back to the casting, I've heard from people off and on. Had a couple interviews here and there, but nothing really sticks, and I just wish I knew why. And if I knew why, I'd be a lot better off, but not knowing doesn't help. Now, I was in Montana in the summer of 2019, and I heard from AJ Rochester. She's a former casting director there, and told her we'd set up an appointment a few days later because I was going to be out of cell phone range. So I called her back, and she said they had canceled, they had closed the casting because they have enough of who they wanted, who they needed. My name was referred to her, and I really like to thank the person that did that for me. But that's the last time I've heard from anyone, and a couple emails here and there, but that was pretty much it. So I've reached out during the casting. I've emailed people, called people, tried to reach out towards people on LinkedIn. Now there is a video here I put out almost 7 years ago. It has about 5,000 views already. It's my initial casting tape, which I did, so I figured I'd put it out there so it wouldn't be seen. But it wasn't. I even did a hashtag Show Us What You Got out there. And I will say, Clarence Gilmore, you have the best video out there for hashtag What You Got, so props, man. That was really, really cool. I really liked it. And, I kind of lost my train of thought there for a moment. What else is new? I'm old, so who cares? Who gives a shit? But anyway, since I heard from AJ, You know, she was really helpful. She was really supportive. She told me she'd be available for the next round of casting. I'd be on the top of her list. Well, for reasons I'm not going to mention, she's no longer with the casting department at Meadow Flowers Media. But I did have one former cast member. She told me to try this idea, to get a petition going on change.org. And a lot of people sign it. It gets sent to the casting department. It gets sent to whoever I want. So, of course, I didn't send it to Greg Feltus. Fuck you. And it went to the casting department. Hundreds of signatures. Didn't go anywhere. I knew another lady who did it. But I haven't checked back with her to see if anyone followed up. But she wants to. She was doing that petition to get on the XL. And I did ask the lady, you know, who sent it to me the first time. I said, "Did you get on the XL when you did a petition?" She said, "No, it didn't happen." So I guess that's a dead end. So like I said, I just don't know why. But like I said, you know, nothing against anyone who's ever competed, because, you know, you've got to do something I've wanted to. I looked up to you. You know, I've met many of you. We've hung out together. Many I call friends. You know, I spent time with Joe Brandon in Wyoming. It was an awesome time. You know, Shannon was there. Shannon Culpa, you know, Jermaine Jackson, cool dude, but I don't think he likes me too well. No, Don Wen spends a lot of time in the mountains. We know some people in common personally. He's a hell of a nice guy, and he really liked my tattoo, the Elvis writing, and the wildebeest in Africa, because I did spend time there. And he thought that was pretty cool because of the Elvis writing on my arm. Yeah, so I'm kind of a diverse, kind of a strange person, but oh well. I'm different. That's just how I am. But now I spent time with Aaron Phillips. He's a hell of a nice guy, good host. I consider EJ Snyder a good friend. We've met a couple times, talk on the phone occasion. Now Alex Menard, he's an awesome young man too. I've helped train him with some skills. I do have a lot of skills. I do train, and I will teach people if they need to know things. So, but you know, as far as the casting goes, you know, there's so many theories of why people don't get cast, and I don't think it's really worth getting into that, because I find a lot of it to be a bunch of shit. So I guess no one really knows why they're not cast. I know a few other men in my position, at least 3 or 4 others who've been trying as long as I have, and they get nowhere. So I don't know what to say anymore. And like I said, I'm sorry to disappoint people. I've had a lot of people ask me, why haven't you done it yet? When are you getting on? I said, this is all beyond me. It's all up to the Casting and Discovery Network. You know, they actually had another show on there years ago, and I was really considered going on. I mean, I was asked for my license and everything, and they're doing a background check, and that was the Ultimate Ninja Challenge. So I thought I was getting on that. Well, guess what? They moved on without me, without a word. So I wasn't too happy about that. But you know, when it comes to these reality survival endurance challenges, I mean, that's just kind of how it is. I mean, anything can change at the drop of a hat. You know, and I know damn well you don't get excited about casting or anything. I mean, you can be promised one thing and it can be gone in an instant. So I'm very much well aware of that. But you know, I did have an opportunity last May to go to Singapore for a show with Kim Commando. She's an etiquette expert, and it's for people who have really terrible manners. Well, I guess who fits the fucking bill for that? So that was looking very promising. Well, then COVID-19 came out. Well, that ruined those plans. And so I'm always looking for other opportunities. I mean, I'm not throwing my eggs in one basket, you know, just banking on Naked and Afraid, because you know, there's other things that interest me as well. But that is the one challenge I think is the ultimate. I'm the #1 fan, the ultimate fan, and I'd be a great fit on that show. And many of you know it. Like I said, this will be posted here soon. YouTube. Maybe I'll send an email to Greg and Casting. Maybe they can read it, or listen to it. And I'm sure they're not going to give a shit one way or the other. I'm not going to hear back. But anyway, who knows? Maybe you'll send me on something else in the future. But you know, as old as I'm getting, time's winding down. I'm getting to the point I really don't know if I want to compromise my health anymore. Like I said, I'm physically fit for my age, strong as a bull, have a lot of strength and power, You know, I take care of myself pretty well. So, well, you have yourselves a great afternoon. Like I said, I'm sorry to disappoint you. So maybe at some point I'll see you somewhere else, and you can see me somewhere else, and some show, and I can make a lot of people proud. So.